My name is Virginia Bennett, and I am a local author in Medicine Hat, Alberta. When I was young, I was always writing stories on anything that I could find. Then, as I grew older, I started writing in a journal. I didn't seriously start writing books until I was older, until I had my first child. I am a teacher, and I taught mainly junior high and high school. I majored in social studies and minored in English. And so I dealt with teenagers a lot, which was good because it gave me a lot of ideas of what teenagers were interested in and what to write about. Mostly it showed me that teenagers do enjoy reading and that it's important that they keep reading.
Virginia recently released her first published novel and the first in a trilogy called Everlast.
I think that the elements or the themes in the book that will capture young people are the love story. It's a story of star-crossed lovers. Who doesn't love a story with star-crossed lovers in it? And it's also a dystopian story. It's a story where a young man finds out that he is more special than he can imagine, which people appreciate that, and I think young people really appreciate that. They like to read a story about someone who is normal or average, like they might be, and finds out or discovers that there's so much more. Because I think that every young person is special like that. I think that in their own way, they're growing into that special person that they are. And they might not have discovered it yet, but I think that a lot of them wish for that, and they hope for that. They hope that there's a special for them on the other end of this crazy, growing up. From a very young age, I really enjoyed reading. One of my most favorite authors when I was little was Frances Hodgson Burnett. And one of my favorite books by her was called A Little Princess. Now, as I got older, I discovered this whole new world of reading that I didn't even know existed out there. And one of the biggest inspirations for me to start writing was some of my favorite authors. And those authors are Neil Gaiman, Margaret Atwood, and some of my other favorite authors are Christopher Moore and Tom Robbins. Neil Gaiman showed me what it takes to be a great writer. He is one of the greats, and I have to give credit to him because up until that point, I thought that all writing was linear, and he showed me a different kind of creative writing, something that I had never experienced before. Margaret Atwood. At first glance, just looking at her picture on the back of the book, I didn't know if I was going to enjoy her writing or not, because at first glance, she just seemed to be a little old lady. And then you read her works, and you're blown away. She's so talented, and I guess she's unexpected. I wanted to be that. I wanted to be like that. I do have some advice for aspiring young authors. I want to say, hold on to that dream and never let it go. And despite what anyone's opinion is, despite what anyone else says, you can be a writer. However, one of the most important things that I feel in life is to get an education. So that's what I did. I went off to university, I got my degree. I taught for about 5 years, off and on, because I had a kid, I had my daughter in there as well. But an education is probably the most important thing for a writer to have, because your grammar grows, your vocabulary grows, your experiences with life, they grow. If you get an education, and you work for about 5 years in your field, and after that you're still writing, then you're definitely meant to be a writer.